So instead of asking questions, we'll just have like a discussion. How about that?
Yeah, the discussions will border on the questions.
That's what I'm saying. So instead of asking questions, we'll just have like a discussion.
That's
How
fine.
about that?
It's not a bad idea. Yeah, the discussions will border on the questions.
That's what I'm saying. Instead of asking questions, we'll just have like a discussion.
That's fine.
How about that?
It's not a bad idea. Yeah, the discussions will border on the questions.
That's what I'm saying. Instead of asking questions, we'll just have like a discussion.
That's fine.
How about that?
Hi, Winnie.
Oh, we'll go. Oh, hello, everyone. And a happy new year to you all. Hope you had fun and spent time with your loved ones during the festive season. After all the bars of the festive season, it is back to business as usual. With that being said, it brings me to today's topic, finances between partners. Sticking to a budget can be hard enough when it's just your own spending and saving that you are tracking. Add another person to the mix and it can get trickier. You may not think twice about spending a couple of naira, dollars, pounds on a new pair of shoes, clothes, bags, but your partner may consider that a major splurge. Money issues are a common source of fights among couples. That's why it is important that both couples feel included and comfortable when setting up a budget or financial plan. There are 3 common approaches when it comes to budgeting as a couple. Merge everything together and share all income and expenses together, or create a joint account that both couples contribute to for shared expenses while also maintaining separate accounts. Keep everything separate and split the bills. But does this actually work in most marriages? Let's find out. Hello, Ify, OJ. Happy New Year to you guys.
Happy New Year, Winnie. Happy Winnie. Happy New Year to you and Happy New Year to everyone.
So how was your Christmas and New Year?
It was a beautiful one, to be honest. Even though the UK standard of holidaying at this time is just family, staying together, being indoors and all whatnot.
And the snow?
It was beautiful.
Happy
New
New
Year.
Please, where is my Oche?
She's hiding somewhere.
Hiding, please. She shouldn't hide. This is the New Year.
Oh my goodness gracious! Happy New Year.
Thanks, and I'm here.
Oh, thank you. Wanyoma, thank you.
Hi, good evening.
Happy New Year, Jari.
Oche, how did you spend your Christmas and New Year?
She had a fun-filled Christmas and New Year.
Benson, don't answer for her, please. I need to hear from my
I should answer for her.
I need to hear from her. I haven't seen her in a long time.
The last person, so I will answer. Leave her alone.
Oche, but I've missed you all this while.
I've missed you guys as well. I've missed everybody.
Okay. Now we've exchanged pleasantries and everything. That brings me to my
Hi,
question.
good evening.
Oche, how you doing?
Oh,
I do.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year. I'm
Because Gagodi, they only have
Hey.
Oche.
Hey, Happy New Year.
Zoom in. So
Ify, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. I'm telling you.
Best of all,
because if and when I'm meeting with my own like this, but shirt.
Okay, kitchen. Yes, you will.
Yes, my own like this.
Yes, you will. Kicking on the way. Yeah.
Better.
I can get on those. It's on the way. We love
Okay.
you all.
Okay. Now we've exchanged pleasantries and everything. Can I go to my question now?
Straight up.
So, is it mandatory for your spouse to know your financial status?
Mandatory.
That's not table.
Should I go first? Should I go first?
Yeah.
When it concerns money matter now.
Should I go first?
You know, women can hide a lot.
Yeah, you can.
Should I go first, Auntie?
Go first.
Okay. It's better you make the whole thing plain. No? It's better you make the whole thing plain so that you wouldn't expect bill that is bigger than you. Make it plain. Okay. This is what I earn. Let's manage our life with this. If you don't say what you earn, the bill will come, and if you don't fulfill them, wahala. Okay. So better make it plain.
Yeah, there's a fair point there. Okay.
Okay. If you do think so, you know,
on one hand, where
he doesn't have to know.
No, I'll tell you where. From the side Benson is coming from, where there's an expectation from the other half, or where your household relies on your budget, on your pocket. Yes, you need to be clear on what you have so they'll know how to present those budgets, okay? But in a situation where the household do not solely depend on one budget, on one pocket, you don't have to make it known, but you have to do your own contribution adequately as agreed, but they don't have to know everything you have.
You know, my mom was a teacher and a headmistress, right? My dad never knew how much she earned till he died. So I'm like, does it really matter? It does to me. I don't know, but it works for them. He fulfilled his own side of whatever it was that he needed to fulfill. And my mom did her own part, but she didn't know how much she earned, and he didn't know how much he didn't know how much she earned. And it worked for both of them. The bills were paid. We were trained in school up to university level, everything, but nobody knew what was what. Yeah, but
can I tell you something about their own?
Okay, go ahead.
Good. The thing about their own is that, see, our fathers and our mothers, they came into marriage with an understanding that was passed down to them from generations. But the problem these days is that you don't pass nothing to nobody, because they will tell you this is the jet age, the new age, the Y age. So the problem there now is, if your father didn't tell her, they know their boundaries and they respected each other. But now it doesn't work like that.
Okay. So putting your budget on the table, how would that build respect for you?
Good. If you put the budget on the table, let's take, for instance, I earn 250K every month. I should make sure that our budget within the house is not more than at least every month 150,000. It's not more than that, because when you have more than that, between just two of you, the 150,000 might be enough for everything. But when the key starts coming, paying school fees and so on and so forth, more money is needed.
Ben, you're sounding as if we're working on one pocket.
No. Whether we are working on one pocket or not, the right thing should be one pocket. Forget about whatever that is added these days that they have to share. Forget it. Even the Holy Scripture says, he that does not provide for his household is worse than an infidel.
I heard that. Right? Preacher.
Worse than an infidel. It's for the man to provide respect. Is the responsibility of the man to provide. But these days, it's being bastardized. They will tell you, we'll split everything. That's where the problem is. We split everything. But it's okay. Why not, when I was coming to marry you, why didn't you contribute to the money of the marriage?
No, the bride
Some
price.
do.
Bride
Some
price.
women do, but you wouldn't know.
Good. Those ones that will not let you know, sometimes you'll not see them talk about it. You'll not see them talk about it.
You know, Benson, sorry, can I come in there?
Go ahead.
You know, like the question says, is it mandatory? Okay. I have a problem with that phrase, mandatory.
Okay.
You are talking about an ideal situation that ideally a man should declare. Okay. But unfortunately, we hardly have ideal situations. And that is why I would rather be realistic than ideal. For instance, a man marries a woman, he is very honest, and she is also very honest. But he finds out that she is very extravagant, not because she wants to ruin him, but because she likes good things, she likes to look flashy and stuff like that. And this man says to himself, if I let this woman know that I'm earning 20 naira, I won't be able to pay fees. Okay? And he decides to let her know that he earns 15. He's within common sense. He has devised a means to be able to, because at the end of the day, he would still carry the blame of not being able to take care of his family. Nobody would remember that the wife buys all the latest handbags and shoes and stuff. Okay.
The Louis Vuitton and the Gucci.
So based on this, I would say that it is not mandatory. Everybody, we all have different circumstances, different situations. We're married to different spouses. So what works for me might not work for you.
Thank you.
So ideally, yes, it's good to declare. But when you know what you're in, it's he who knows it that feels it. So if you know that, man, if I toe this line, we're all going to be in trouble, you should use your head. Okay.
Well, you know what? When I look at this topic and when you guys brought it up, this is one of the things that I tell people that, in marriage, there are three things that are very important: communication, sex, and finance. When at the end of the day, you know that the first one to go will be sex, because when you get old, they're not going to be going at each other like that. So the other two are they're like the pillars that hold it, which is communication and finance. What Oche is saying is perfectly true. Let's not do it what the ideal is. Let's deal with reality. And that's where where my own take comes in with, did you date this person that you're marrying? Did you even date them? Did you have issues with, maybe when you were dating, did you have talk about money? Many of us date blindly. We don't ever have discussions. We date, we love, and we want to get into marriage. Never even most times, try and get the ground rules set in your relationship. And let me tell you something, there's not like mandatory. Please don't, when I see that word, even for me, what's mandatory about finance? But it's equally good that no matter what, one thing I know, no matter what your wife earns, women like to be given something. No matter how your wife is contributing to the family purse or whatever, they like to be given something. So you don't have to know everything your husband earns. It's not necessary. It's not quite even necessary for me to know what everything my wife earns. But two of us have an idea where we're going to. What do we want to do with our finances? We discuss it. If it's something, a major project, and I'm not really for this thing of half-half. I don't believe so. I agree with Ben in that one. This thing where the new thing we have with couples, okay, you bring half of the bill, I bring half of the bill. The Bible clearly states that if you cannot take care of your family, you're worse than an infidel. So, yes, your wife contributes. My father said something when I was getting married. He said to me, never let a woman put food on your table. That doesn't mean she won't contribute towards food on your table. Never let a woman put a roof over your head. That doesn't mean she can't contribute towards the rent or the mortgage. But what it simply means is that when you abdicate your responsibility as a man, and she's the one putting roof, she's the one doing the mortgage, she's the one putting the food on your table. My dear, a time will come where she is the man now, you are the woman. And that's no matter how good the woman is, after a while, it rubs on her. So finances it works differently for everybody. If you know your wife is a spendthrift, you have to find a way to manage it. If you know your husband is a spendthrift, you also have to work at it. But it takes the two of you understanding. That's where communication comes in. Do you talk? Do you discuss it? Like, for example, if I'm going to make a major decision, financial decision, I think I should talk to my wife. It's not even I think. You should talk to your wife.
Yeah.
If I'm going to buy property, see, that's where people get wrong. For me, since if I'm going to buy a property, I don't even put Mr. and Mrs. I say Mr. Ikechukwu and Mrs. Soso Abbas. It's in our names. She has the right to know where I keep this thing. You know, I might have a little kitty where I save money for the rainy day. Yes, that's fine. She might not necessarily know that. But the major decisions that have to do with money in the house, your wife should be on top. She should be part of it. And this thing of going behind, especially if the woman is a good woman, although with some women or some men, there's certain things that change people perspective about marriage. When you are in the marriage, you begin to see that person you are the one bringing, and that person is the one always taking, even when they don't refuse to bring. It changes your perspective. Your perspective of what to do changes. So there's no one shoe fits all. That's my own thing I'm saying. It's as the time goes, it evolves. You know what you need to do. When the children are in school,
Depending on who you're married to.
It depends on who you're married to.
Depending on the person you ended
Of
up
course.
with.
But like I said, Oche, I said communication. Remember what I said at the beginning? We have these three pillars of the marriage: communication, finance, sex. Those are very important. When the sex goes, but if you communicate well with your partner, especially when it comes to money, it helps a lot. It does help a lot. But how many of us do communicate? Do we communicate? The next thing you know, your husband is building a house. You never know he's building. I have friends who their wives built houses. They never knew. You hear a story of a woman building a house. The man, they are living in the house, and the man is paying rent in the house. Doesn't know that the wife owns the house.
So you don't have friends where the men build the house and the wives didn't do?
No, that's what I still told you. I said I have friends.
So do you have for the men? I know you have women that they
No, I have for the men who have built houses without their wife knowing it. That's wrong.
I know, but do you know men where that's built without their wives knowing?
Yes.
Okay.
And I've told them, I said, that is wrong. Because eventually, when that woman gets to know, and she is fully, one of my friends, let me share a personal story. One of my friends did this thing. So when he built the house, finished building the house and everything, when they came, they wanted to remortgage their house to get equity in it. They remortgaged the house, got the equity in it. It was put into their joint account. One day he went to the joint account, he has been cleared. The wife took all the money. When he was raking and all that, she said, well, you built your house, I'm building my own. Oh, yeah, it is do me, I do you, understand? So he didn't have any moral standing to start complaining. Because I told him, I said, well, when you were building, you didn't tell the woman, so she's done her own, so swallow it like a man. Maybe next time, when you're doing something, try and put her in the picture. But what I'm saying is this, is also geared towards the kind of partner you have. That is very crucial. The kind of partner is very crucial. If you have a good woman who respects you, who is, tells you things, shares things with you, it will be criminal, it will be immoral for you to go behind and be doing those sort of things, building without her knowing and all that, that's not it. It's not defensible, no matter what. It's not. But if you have a woman that is busy trying to wreck you, my dear, nobody will blame you if you go and take care of your business without her knowing. So it all depends on the situation. That's the thing. Like I said,
can I ask a question? Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Where a woman builds a house, but commits to all her financial obligations in the house while she's building the house and did not even tell the husband about it, is it still wrong?
Well, as far as you won't feel bad if the man is building something without telling you.
And they're still committing to their own financial obligation at home.
Yeah. Not feel bad. Okay, but what I'm saying is this. That tells me there's a fundamental problem in your marriage too.
Because I mean, building a house is not a one-day thing.
It's a
major
exactly.
project.
It's a major
so how
project.
do you do that?
You know?
It's not like, oh, you just saw apples on the road and bought and ate without telling him.
No. So,
but when it gets to that point, then there's something wrong. You guys are no longer in partnership.
Exactly.
Everybody is on their own.
Yeah.
So, okay, thank you very much, Ike. I have to stop you there because of time. So, OJ, over to you.
Okay, so I'll take my own question, which is it okay for couples to merge their finances together or keep them separate in the joint account?
Auntie, happy New Year. You there?
Emerisa, would you like to say something?
You mean me?
Yes. Yes, you.
Yes.
Good evening.
And thank you for coming.
Hello, everybody.
Hi.
Happy New Year. Compliments of the season. It's a very interesting topic trying to discuss here. For me, fundamentally, it's marriage is a school of thought. So people have different schools of thought within them. Unfortunately, the school of thought these days, the general consensus these days is very, very, like acutely different from when my parents were alive and when they were dating. So the way things are done these days is, miles away from the way it was done back in the old days. The understanding and everything all different. The fundamentals is all different. Because when my parents got married, the rule of law and the native law and custom and all that held right. But in today's world, there's a huge societal decadence to such a degree that I've seen where girls are basically being pawned off in quote unquote, in calling it marriage. Because when the suitor comes along with his friends to do the due diligence, the girl's father decides to, because he came from the United States or because he came from the UK or because he works for a certain establishment, they twist everything, they jack up all the rates, the cost of drinks, the cost of cola nuts and all that. And if he's not able to bear, then there's nothing for him to do. So I'm saying all this to say that the premise upon which the marriage is based comes into question, because nothing happens in a day. If the man was happy the day he got married and vice versa, then there would not be any need for rancor or ruckus in the house. But if somebody felt cheated or somebody felt, swindled in the beginning, then a seed has been sown which is going to fester. My uncle's wife went back to her village and built a house while they were still in marriage. And fortunately for her, or unfortunately for her, she built it, I think they said, on her father's land, her paternal father, land in Mbise. But she can't occupy the house today because the oldest brother in the family occupied as soon as it was done. And when she came to complain, they said to her, "Women don't build houses. You've been married off. You don't have our last name. What are you doing here?" So she cannot lay claim on the house that she built. So when you analyze the situation, she lost, was upping the ante against him, Now, at the end of the day, the children fundamentally lost, because if she had been in communication with him, he probably would have advised her of possibilities of the outcome, and it would have been better for her to have purchased the land upon which to put that structure, because she basically built a house for somebody else, a different family. Her child is not going to lay claim to that property because they'll kill him. That's how ruthless it is. When you are getting married to somebody, the premise upon which your marriage is based is going to determine a whole lot of things. Now, I know a couple here in the States, in Texas, where they maintain a joint account. And so far, with all the ups and downs, it's worked out for them. The woman sometimes comes to me for advice, and I'll ask her, "Look, what is your end goal? Do you want to be divorced, or do you want to be married?" She says she cannot survive as a single person. I said, "Okay." I said, "So you have to bite the bullet and entertain what you're married into. That you're not the problem. You're married into a family that has got a sibling rivalry." So her husband and his siblings have rivalry that's affecting her marriage. And every time she's on the sidelines, weeping and crying and trying to pick up the pieces and all that. But so far they have joint account and it's worked for them. Then I have another friend who's currently separated now. The divorce is in process, and it is his second divorce. And it turns out that when he married the second wife in his village in Newi, he didn't do the due diligence, he didn't do background check, he didn't do all that jazz. So he's finding out today that she's dating a medical doctor here in the States while he was working for an oil company in Nigeria. And he was paying for the house in the States, and she was, doing her thing. So now he's trying to sort out the thing amicably, but she is not having it. So it's come upon the premise. I said to him straight up, "Look, the woman you married has a character flaw, and for some reason or the other, you did not notice it. I don't think your dad signed up to this your wedding." And he thought about it. I said, "Well, you know what? You're actually right. My dad never signed up to this," because I told him after the fact, or he got to know after the fact. That's okay, because your dad would never have signed up to it, But you're still lucky because your mother and your father are still alive while this is happening. I think I said to him, your best bet is to treat it like don't treat her like an emotional situation. Treat it like a business. So you're about to be ousted on a deal. You get the best you can get and get out. So what do you mean? I said, "Well, put the property on the market. This is Texas. Put the property on the market, sell it for the best value you can get out of it, get your own fair share of it, let her get her own fair share, and call it quits."
Okay.
The only thing that is difficult is you have two daughters, and they're gonna the after effect of it is gonna they're gonna affect your daughter. But because you have two,
sorry to cut you short. I would like to know what your take is. Do you think?
Oh, my take.
Yeah. Yes. What's your take?
Well, okay, now
is it okay for couples to merge ordinarily, what is your take? Is it
Well,
okay for couples to merge their finances?
in today's world, it depends on the individuals. Because I am not married, I'm not used to having a joint account.
Okay.
So you know what they say, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. So if I started dating somebody, I would not immediately, throw
Want to
all my
collabo?
bells and whistles. I don't do that because I need to
Okay.
understand who the person is and where they're coming from.
Hey,
get that.
Ewaruzo, why are you saying that? Before you get to marriage, during the courtship period, you would have known the person.
Yeah. Okay.
So why would you want to marry
like
the
you
person before
said,
you start knowing the person?
but okay,
That's
like
not good enough because,
I would give my own I would give myself as an example. Okay, my husband and I have a joint account. That is where he pays in a certain amount of money every month, and that is basically for housekeeping, incidentals, and everything. Funny enough, he does the paying in and I do the spending. The app is on my phone. I have the ATM card, and once he pays in that money, he doesn't bother me about, oh, what did you spend on this and that? Then I have a separate account, my savings account, where he doesn't bother what happens there. Funny enough, he still puts in something there every month. And then he has his salary account, which made him move his salary from one bank to the other when they wouldn't want me to be signatory to that account. I didn't ask. I wasn't interested, okay? But he has his reasons for doing all this. So am I going to say that, oh, once you get married to someone, you must do this? No. Like I said, he has his reasons. And he also knows why he chose that I am signatory to that account. My own savings account, he's not signatory to them. Of course, there's nothing inside. So
It's an empty pocket.
there's nothing what?
Being a joint signature.
Well, the thing is this, I think that's the way he was groomed by his own parents.
But
I think.
the thing is, for me, I would say to people, it still boils down to personality, because you were giving example of our parents and what they did. If they knew better, they would do better. Many of those women longed for such partnerships, because as far as I'm concerned, marriage is partnership. Okay. Yes, there are times you'll be your own individual person, but 3/4 of the time, you're supposed to be in sync. Okay. So you can have a joint account, but that doesn't stop you from having your own. That doesn't stop him from also having his own. And people do these joint ventures for different purposes. And it also depends on, like they say, so if you want to toe that line of, oh, I am not married and I'm not sure when I get, by the time love hits you in the eye, you might even want the person to be the one making all the expenses. For me, there's no hard and fast rule. So if your take is that for now, you do not have such and you're not sure you readily jump into that, it's still fine, because experiences are not the same and circumstances differ as well. So thank you for your contribution. And Red Pet, would you like to say something?
He's there, right? Yeah.
Yeah, he is. I don't know whether his network is letting him hear me. But because Ike had said something before and Benton had said something before, don't we have women on this show tonight?
There are plenty. Auntie is here. Nkechi is
Can you
here.
not see me?
Esther is here.
Hey, only a woman like myself. What kind of question is that?
Auntie, what do you think? Are you in support for partners to have to merge their finances?
If they trust each other, yes. If they don't. I'll use myself as an example, like I always do. I got married and my husband was talking about a joint account, and the first question I asked him was, "Do you have a job?" Why are you laughing?
He didn't have it.
No, because if you don't mind to put inside, that means if you want me to give money, say give me money. Because I have a joint account and I will put in money and you taking the money. That's not joint account now. And it costs fight. But I did not have, we don't have joint account. So end of story. We never had a joint account. And when he finally got the job, when I mentioned joint account, he shouted, no, he wants to chop my money. You see? So end of story. Keep your money. I keep my money. I will do what we have to do for the house. End of.
So it still boils down to whoever you're having dealings with.
Yeah. It depends on the individual and what their intentions are. It has to be with the intentions.
Okay.
Because some people think about building
Thanks,
a home
Auntie.
together. Some people just want to do their own stuff. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Esther,
Thanks.
do you want to say something?
Hello, good evening, everyone. Happy New Year.
Happy New
Evening,
Year.
Esther. How are you doing?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. Busy, so yeah. That's on my camera. My house is full of guests, so yeah, sorry. For me, I think, it's about communication. I think you have to sit down before you get married and work it out. And I think a joint account is a very good idea. You put in there and contribution, and then everything gets paid out. And I always think that it's important for everyone to have their own separate account to save. And also, because sometimes you need to do other things for yourself. But as long as you communicate about what you're doing, I think that's, as long as it's fine with both of you, it's fine. It's an agreement. Like you said, marriage is a partnership. So as long as you keep the communication going, then there's nothing wrong with it. Yeah.
Esther, what level of communication are you talking about? Is it when you want to run personal expenses? You have to go to the partner and tell them.
Like if you want to go on holiday, like you're saying towards a holiday, I don't know, or your friends or something, or you want to buy a car or something that's gonna, be big. Because at least if you talk to buy it, maybe then he might say, oh, well, you're saving towards this thing. Maybe I can help you. And then he might say, okay, I'll maybe contribute to it, or don't worry, I'll get it for you. So by keeping the communication channels opened, it helps. Or you want to start building a house, let's have a conversation about it. Or you want to get a new car, let's have a conversation about it. So I think like you have to keep the communication channel about finances and the amount you're spending and things together. Obviously, we women, I put my hands up. I can go out and I can see something, I'll buy it. I'm impulsive when it comes to things like that, and I might come home and, my husband will say, oh, so you went shopping again? I'm like, yeah. Or you might see something, go, oh, when did you get that? And I'm like, last time I went shopping, or maybe a year ago, or because I hide them. But, he knows that I do these things. So it's not like I'm hiding from him, because he knows. He knows that if he sees a pair of shoes, I probably bought it and put it in the cupboard. So he knows about it. He knows that I will go out and I will spend on myself as well as everybody else in the family without discussing it. Because sometimes you go out, you might see something for somebody and you want to buy it. I don't want to have to phone up and go, oh, I saw this thing and I want to buy it. I want to have money that I can make those decisions, but at the same time that he's okay with it because he knows I do that. So yeah.
So what you've just said now is merging finances or having a joint account, is it the right thing or not?
For me, having a joint account, I feel is good because it allows you to see where the expenses are coming from and going out. So it's like a central place for the whole family to know where the direct debits, the bills and things are going. And then having your own account for other things that you do.
Okay, okay. So it's just, okay, yeah, we'll have the joint and I'll do my own thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think Oje's question, Oche, correct me. I think your question was about putting all the eggs in one basket.
No, it wasn't.
No, I just said, is it okay to merge?
Or keep a separate account?
Into one account.
As far as I'm concerned, even though I am an advocate of merging, I still feel that each person should still have their own individual account.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That should be the ideal thing. We have a collective purse, then everybody has their own.
Yes.
Okay.
That's
I wouldn't say everything should be put in one basket. No. Even if I was the one funding it, I wouldn't like that. And since I'm not the one, I still don't want that.
Okay, the conversation is really going so well and time is running like no man's business. All right, let's ask the next question. Thank you, Oche. Where a spouse earns considerably more than the other, just for the sake of discussion, let's use the man. Where the man earns more than the woman, is it right for him to dictate the couple's spending priorities in their relationship? A typical example is where they've made this account and the woman brings in her, sake of argument, her £15,000 a year. Oga brings in £40,000 and that's what the budget is. And in between, she's got friends like me and we want to go on holiday for no reason, just want to go on holiday. And the man says, no, you can't, because Ngozi is going does not mean you have to go. We don't have this money, or you can't be doing this. We'll rather go to a reef the next year. So, back to my question is, because it's the higher earner in the house, is it ideal for them to dictate the spending? Miss Wu, I know you're the woman, but it's okay. Tell us. I'll go to the men and ask them what they think.
Why are you calling me?
Just pretend you're that higher earner. In fact, on the other end, tell us. When the man earns considerably higher, more money in the family, is it right for him to dictate how the money is spent in the household?
No. I don't think so, because the woman's the domestic administrator. And if she needs time out, she needs time out. Happy wife, happy life.
Even if they're not making as much money.
It doesn't matter. He married her, innit? That's what he chose.
Okay.
That's the way I look at it. At the end of the day, you chose her. You chose her with her 15 grand a year. So just because you're earning more money doesn't mean that you now limit her. Because I'm sure she was gorgeous and beautiful on her little 15,000. So now that your money has come into play, she could look even more gorgeous and more beautiful. So why would you begrudge her the peace that you get in the house? You know? So yeah, no, happy wife, happy life. Just pay the money.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. We can get to the guys now. Benson.
Well, I want to say something. I think I agree with
go ahead.
I think I agree with her. When the man has chosen the woman for his wife, your marriage doesn't mean it doesn't imply that you're going to control the person. It's like you signed up for this person to be your co-pilot. So that's the way I see it. And so if they want to do something out of their own volition, I will typically ask you, is that going to make you happy? Then if she says yes, that's going to be nice. Okay, yeah, you're fine. You can go do your holiday or whatever, because if she's miserable, then I'm miserable.
Wow.
If she's happy, then I'm happy.
That sounds sweet.
That's the way it works.
Well, in the real world,
that's the way it works.
In the real world,
the woman.
I hope I disagree. In the real world, it doesn't work that way. And you know why I say that?
No. Okay. What I mean by what I'm saying is, as a man, I'm not going to put all my eggs in that one basket. I'm going to have some kind of rainy day in somewhere else, so that I know that if she takes something out of it to go tidy herself up, I'm not going to sink. So if you make her, or if she becomes grouchy because you stopped her from going on holiday, you're not going to have time to think again. You'll be on your case for the rest of the year. So you have to choose what you can handle.
Okay. I what's your view on this question?
The thing there is this. Let's just be real. Like, you have your wife and she wants to go on vacation. And like I said, I always say this, communication is key. Your wife knows that maybe at that point, the purse is lean. Why would she be asking to go on vacation? Knowing that the purse is lean at that point, that's being insensitive to the man. You want to go on vacation. We don't have the money to afford it, but you want to go. So that makes you happy. So how realistic
what if she's a woman
Yes.
that can still do that vacation on her little way?
Listen to what I said. I said to you, our purse is lean. I didn't say my purse is lean. Our means the two of us. Okay. And when you're talking about, yes, I understand, happy wife, happy home. But you also understand that if one person is always the one that has to stay back and you're the one always going to enjoy, after a while, it's going to cause fatigue on the other person. It's not going to make them happy. Like what our type said, you're spending too much money, the husband is not going to be happy. He's going to be miserable too. So the point is you have to strike a balance in whatever you're doing. I have no problem at all. Like for me, once the bills are paid, you want to go do whatever, do spa or do whatever, go right ahead. That makes you happy. And like I said from the beginning, you have to communicate with your spouse. Listen, Nne, at this point, we don't have the money for this. We are on a project. Let's deal with this whenever we, because when you tell somebody and the person knows that you are being honest, you are being upfront, why will you now be miserable? Because the person said, no, you can do this. Not because you're being a dictator, but because it's just the reality. What if, for example, your wife wants to go and buy a $30,000 car? When you guys maybe focused on maybe the car she has is good enough for maybe the next 1 or 2 years, but because she wants to emulate one of her friends who is driving a bigger car, she wants to go and drive a bigger car. Therefore, you give it to it just to make her happy. At the end of the day, it's your family that still has to pay the bills. That has to suffer for it. You have kids who are going to school. You might want to save money for those things. So my thing is communication. It's always very important to talk about things and be able to understand your partner and your partner to understand you. If you as a woman know that your husband's purse or the family's purse is lean, I think it's very unreasonable to start making some demands. So that you make
when you're using the word reasonable and unreasonable, sorry to cut in, reasonable and reasonable, that's why this question is talking about spending priorities. What your priorities are may differ, or your scale of priority of preference differs from the other person.
Okay, let me ask you something.
Because money has come together, that's where we're having this conversation.
Let me give you an example. For example, you and your wife come together and you say, okay, we need to build a house in the village. Okay, so that's a project you guys, two of you, have agreed to do. Now that project is taking a lot of your distance. Then all of a sudden she comes and says, "Oh, I want to go to the Canary Islands and go and spend whatever." You think me that I don't want to go to Canary Islands? You think I don't enjoy?
Most of the time, it is not the woman's priority for that house to be built in the village.
I know, but the thing
for
is
the man. So they
if
just
it's something
agree.
if it's something that will edify the family, that's what I'm trying to point out. If you are doing something that edifies the family, and you know that this project is something that will lift your family up or put you in a better place, there's times to ask for something. I've told you this story about the fact that whenever you want to get, look, any woman can get anything from their husband if they know exactly when to ask for that. If, for example, for me, you cook my favorite food, you're rubbing my stomach, and whatever, you might ask for the whole moon. I might give you the moon that time.
Excellent.
But if the money is not there, right? I'm not going to go to debt to try and satisfy you. It's not right. You don't wreck somebody because you want to. That's what I'm talking about, being communication. Two of you communicating, right? Communication. When you know the purse is lean for the family, there's some demands that you shouldn't. For me, it's being unreasonable. That's the way I look at it. Okay. And I'll communicate the same, but I won't say you must never go. No, I don't think it's a dictatorship. If you want to go, fine, you could go. But don't quarrel tomorrow when the man goes off to do his own thing. And after a while, it becomes you do your thing, I do my thing. It becomes a this thing, and that becomes kind of erodes the confidence and the trust you have within each other.
But sometimes it brings peace when you're doing your own thing. I'm doing my own thing out of my own pocket.
Well, it depends on the kind of peace you want. The peace of mind. I don't want to know anything you are doing. You can go ahead and do whatever. That's not peace. Let me tell you something. That's not peace.
But hold on. Okay, sorry, I'm cutting you short. What if the tables are turned and the woman is the higher earner? What happens?
So that's the thing. If the woman if the woman is a higher earner, right? It's only most times a man.
On those things that the woman would want if she was lower than you. So what happens?
What I'm saying is this: when a woman earns more than a man, it takes a man who is not insecure to stay married to that woman.
True.
It takes a lot for a man who's not insecure. Let me tell you something now. What's her name? The richest woman in Nigeria, Alakija. The husband, I'm sure she's the one who's the richest woman. It takes a lot for that man to be there. You might not understand it, but it takes a lot for that man to be there. The
Why?
natural thing, but it takes a lot because it depends on the woman. It depends on the lady. Does she still accord him respect, or does she come and say, "Well, I'm making the money," or turn the table and begin to do like the man would do if he has more money? So, like I said, it all boils to communication.
Wow.
You communicate with your husband, communicate with your wife. The two of you are communicating. It doesn't matter. Look, me, I'm very comfortable if my wife earns more than me. I don't mind though, because me, I'll be enjoying all those gifts that she'll be buying and all that. I will enjoy it. I don't have any problem with that. It's if you feel insecure in yourself, then when a woman is earning more, you begin to have all these, problems. And that is where you work on yourself. But also the woman also, on her own part, what do you have more? Do you lord it over your husband? Are you the kind of woman that because you earn more, you decide when you come in and when you go, and you decide what you do in the house? The man talks, you say, beg, sit down. How much are you bringing? Because women do that.
No, but women could still do that even though you're earning more than them.
No, a woman that earning more than cannot come and tell you how much are you bringing. She will never.
No, we do.
No, she will never. A woman that you are earning more than.
I will ask you. Is it
without saying, listen. If the man is not bringing anything, if the man is not slacking, even though he's earning more, he's slacking his responsibilities. Then you can say that, informer. You can say to the man, after all, this money you are making, how much do we see? But if the man is going up to his responsibilities, you will not see a woman come and tell him, "Oh, how much are you bringing yourself?" No.
I'll ask you, are you $1? Why wouldn't I speak in this house? Are you $1 self? Go and sit down. I'll say
there's a different argument you're bringing. I'm saying if the man is meeting up his responsibilities as a husband, he's providing for the home, bring money. You will not come and tell him how much are you bringing anyway. But I've seen women who earn more than their husbands. I have a friend. If I refuse to go to the house anymore because when I go there, the woman earns more than the guy. If you see the way she talks to him, he's offering an opinion. She'll say, shut up. When people are talking, you're also talking.
Hey.
That may be the way they've always lived.
That's
not
right.
Because of what she's earning.
No. It wasn't. It wasn't because I knew them when they came to Canada. And when she became a nurse and began to earn more than he does, she began to earn.
Tell the man to step up. Tell the man Oche Kitchen says he should step up.
But I'm just trying to point out to you.
Do nothing and step up.
Okay. And you justify that by asking that.
I do. Because if he's sat there for too long and which has made you stop going to visit them, then he's not listening. He should step up, do nothing, mental health nothing, and start earning like the woman.
Okay. What I'm saying is this. That is not right.
All fingers are not equal.
No, the thing is, the man married a woman with a character flaw.
Yes.
But because the money was not there in the beginning,
exactly.
he couldn't see.
Exactly.
Yes.
As soon as the money comes in, all the flaws start to show.
Exactly.
So at that point, it's fight or flight.
Yeah.
There
are some families. Go ahead. There are some families where the woman earns higher than the man, but you will never know. You will never know. The wife gives the money or whatever to the husband who takes care of the bills and does all of that. And you will never know that it's coming from the woman. So just like the other person said, it's a character flaw. A bad woman is a bad woman.
It's a bad woman. She will.
Regardless.
Yes.
That's the truth.
My cousin who lives in the States is a pharmacist. She makes more money than her husband. When they go home to Nigeria, she gives the whole money to the man. The man will go and get my uncle. "Oh, Papa, this is the money we're giving you." You never hear my cousin say, "Oh, I gave him the money." No. When they are building, she'll say, anything they talk, she say, "Go and meet my husband. Go and meet my husband." Meanwhile, she's the one funding the meet my husband. So she's not doing it because she cannot come and say, "After all, it's me that's bringing the money or footing the bill." But because she's trained and said, "You know what? Let me give this man." Look, all men are our ego and our pride. That's all we are.
Yeah.
Ego and pride from us. You have removed the man. So if you are any more than your husband, there's a woman who, when they go out to dinner, you see her, she and the husband in sync. She'll tap the man, pass the money under the table to the man.
Under the table or her card on the table.
Why are you doing that? Why can't you pay? What's wrong with you paying?
It depends on the situation, right? And the woman is doing that. There's nothing wrong with you paying, but she wants to give honor to her husband. She can just give him slide the card.
What if they're with some friends and everything? You expect that to just bring out a card and pay?
I will pay, yes. It doesn't matter. I don't have to hide it. because
No, I'm
heaven,
not saying you have to
heaven
hide
and
it.
earth knows that I'm the one that is working harder. I think for me, the way it should work is if I start earning more than my partner, right? The best I can do for him to avoid all of this drama, hiding on the other side, doing it the other way, is speak to him. If he needs to retrain, let him retrain. If he needs to go into business, something that will give him that financial capacity so he can stand and do things, not waiting for me to slip a card under the table to pretend that he's the one doing it. I say no to it.
Thank you, Ihoma.
I say no to it.
Thank
I
you.
will guide you to improve yourself and take up that standing you want to assume.
You have that.
Not for me to do things and let's cover it up.
Something. We're not saying
Unless it's incapable of doing things, then yes.
If I'm what you're saying is this, it's not a matter of what you're saying is right. You always have to tell somebody to improve themselves. Doesn't mean that they prove themselves means they will pass the woman still. But you also always bring your partner up. We move by bringing ourselves up. Both you and your partner should work hand in hand. Communication, I mean, is this. I might go out today, I don't have money, I didn't have the cash to pay. My wife gives me money. She slips the money to me. That's fine.
How much did she give you today?
Yeah?
How much did she give you?
Today? What do you
Make sure you pay back. Make sure you pay back.
Why? When she takes from me, does she pay back? When women say it's a loan, it's not a loan. Between couples, there's not like loan. Women will ask you for that back. The man will not.
Make sure you pay back that money you collected today.
Yes.
Can I say something quickly?
Yeah.
There have been occasions, and I'm not going to call names, but I'm one of them, that I have slipped card, slipped money, honored him, blah blah. And what did I get for it? Crazy insult, abuse. And I said, it will never happen again. You got no money sitting in your goddamn house. Silly man. I'm never doing it again. All my life, I don't care, I don't mind, I was brought up to give and share and whatever. But men take it that because you're giving them, you need them, you're desperate or whatever. And I'm told now, you don't have any money. If you knock on my door, I will call the cops for you. Yes. I'm robbers at my door.
Ataibo, because
sit down your goddamn house.
Ataibo,
honor you anymore. Honor yourself.
No,
honor yourself. Bring yourself up to where you want to be.
So I don't buy that nonsense anymore. You don't have any money, sit down in your goddamn house if you have one.
Exactly. Don't go.
You know my number. Don't call me again.
I said, honor yourself. Honor yourself.
No. But Ataibo, let's be real. Let's be real. If you had a man who treated you well, who is willing to do what he should do, and all that, you have no problem with doing that. You have no problem. You know what I mean? Because no. Ataibo,
I can't help it. I'm sorry.
Yes. When a man, vice versa, when a man treats you well, giving is not hard. When a man treats you well or a woman treats you well, giving is not hard. To be honest with you, to give is not hard when somebody treats you well.
No, it's not about giving. What you've just described, and Winifred concurred to it. It's making the man, placing him where he is not, just to impress the world. No. I am not doing that.
I don't agree. I'm not agree.
We don't need to do that. We're talking about self-confidence now. That man that is still sticking by me because I'm earning more should not expect you to slip the card under the table for him to pay the bill. He should be self-confident enough to sit there while I bring my card and pay the bill. Because they know, I know that I am the one paying the bill.
So
when the tables are turned, the same man gives you his card to pay when you go shopping.
No, and I like it.
I use the same card to pay.
Why is it that?
Why can't you use your card to pay when you go shopping?
When it's good, you talk for the men. You see, that's what gets me about the women thing.
No, okay, let me tell you I'll tell you what makes me happy.
Why don't you bring yourself up to that level that when you go shopping, you use your own card to pay?
Let me tell you one story, right? I was having a discussion with some ladies recently. They were angry about this man who is, in quote, a lazy man, right? He's the woman that is on top, that is doing everything over the years, even paid part of her dowry and blah, blah, blah. So, and part of their anger is even The other day, he was seen sitting by the kiosk. This is in Nigeria, with the aboki, with the gate men, gisting, degrading himself. I don't know this man. What I said to them, this man you people have just described as somebody who is not doing jack in his home. So, and that gate man has a job and earns salary every month. What makes you think, because he's marrying your friend, that he's bigger than that gate man? They started laughing. I said, Ifeoma, you're right. That person has a salary and maybe keeping up to their responsibility of their responsibility at home. Your friend's husband, all of you know him as lazy and not doing anything, just pretending to be waiting for the big heaven to fall for him to be rich. And you people think that he shouldn't sit next to a gate man when you all know that he's a nobody. This is exactly what we're talking about. And from
that's not exactly what we're talking about. We're talking about where you are earning higher than him. Not because he's not earning anything. He is still earning, but you are earning higher than him.
Yeah, let him pay out of his little. Let him pay the little he can pay. I'll pay the red difference.
But if
no,
you are just
it's a different thing entirely, Ifeoma. This one earns, but it's not earning as much as you are earning. That's not the difference.
That does not mean I'll slip my card under the table to make.
But that's you, though.
That he's the one earning higher.
That's what I'm saying. But if the tables were turned and he is earning higher than you, and you go shopping, don't expect him to slip his card and give you to pay for whatever you have bought.
No, he will not slip it. He will pay. That's
he will
the
pay.
thing.
I want to say something. I want to say something here.
There you are.
Okay, now there are two things in play here. The individual.
Down. Those are the two things in play. Whether you married up or whether you married down, and somebody's financial habits.
Exactly. Precisely. If the woman married up, there will be no rancor, there will be no problems. But if the woman married down, then and the man has typically has what do you call it, ego and other issues. So some men do not want to be seen. Some men do not want to be seen or perceived like, oh, I can't afford what my wife is eating, or what my wife is wanting, or what my wife needs. You know, so they see it as embarrassing. So then that slipping the card under the table to them might be like adding to the insult. Now, if the man has no problem, if he has a flair and he likes his wife so much, he will indulge her. You know, okay, they're going out. They say, honey, you know, say I don't get money today. Come to next people. Then the woman was okay. Hold this $500 or whatever. So that so when he reached there, to himself go act like a man, he won't feel the impact. So because it's been communicated
prior.
You know? Yeah. So because I have a friend, you know, we went to school together. Now, okay, we emigrated and everything. He's Canadian. He's dating this girl. She was doing paper in Yankee. Eventually, they got married. And long story short, she couldn't find a job in Canada. So she walked out of Canada and came back to Texas. So he's now having to relocate to Texas so that he can keep the marriage union together. So for 18 months, he couldn't find a job, you know. Now, the woman says to him, no be my own go worse pass. I can't stay in an apartment. We have to get a house. You know, so he called me. I said, get us a bill. So I saw, but I know the lady, I met the lady, I know the lady, she works hard. She said, look.
Hold on. Let's go offline, stay there. Let's go offline, then we'll continue on overtime. Yeah? Thank you, everyone, for being a part of today's show. We're staying for overtime, but let's go offline. It's been an interesting conversation. It appears it would have a part 2 sometime because this matter never finished.
I'm going.
Joint account, if it's working, it's working. If it's not working, it's not working. For me, it's a no-no, unless we have that cut out in between. You've got your chunk, I've got my chunk. In between, we have that tiny bit for the running of the house. Other than that, it doesn't fit my wahala because what you want might not be. Our priorities will always differ unless we're even twins. The priorities differ. So thank you so much, and be a part of next week's show, same time. We love you all.